Hey, it's Dan, welcome back. This is iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because there's a lot to cover, but the global economy has already started to slow down. We're seeing major changes in the economy here and internationally. I know a lot of people say, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care about it, but you should. For those of us that are old enough to remember 2008, we're about to relive that with the real estate market. The stock market is already starting to turn a little bit. So we're gonna cover a lot of stuff today. Before I get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. Please make sure you've got the bell notification hit so you get notified of all the videos, and always check your subscriptions. With my channel and other channels, make sure that they haven't dropped you for some unknown reason, but let's get into it. Today I'm in Laguna Regional Park. I wanna thank subscriber Amber for recommending this place because it's very cool. It's a nice lake, there's a stream, there's a lot here. One thing that's interesting, CNBC has been the cheerleader for everything is okay, but the one thing that they all want to do, every prognosticator in the financial markets wants to be the one that is going to predict when the downturn's going to happen. Now, there's one man who tried to call it earlier this summer, and everything that he's been predicting has been coming true so far. Now, his name is Lakshman Akuthan of the Economic Cycle Research Institute, which is a mouthful to say. But earlier this summer, this guy called problems with foreign currencies. He called problems with commodity pricing. He called global inflation as a huge problem for all these different countries, including the United States. And the guy's been spot on with this. So it's interesting when you look at these experts that are starting to look at the fact that, remember, everything was great a week ago, but now you're starting to see real problems in the marketplace globally. And again, one thing I love about these videos is that you see people internationally that are writing us, telling us how it is in the UK, how it is in South America, Portugal, Ireland. We're getting all these different countries that are telling us the same exact thing, that the store shelves are barren, they're having shipping delays for their businesses, they're having supply problems for their businesses, and prices for everything, doesn't matter what it is skyrocketing. So it's beginning, okay? For those of us that remember inflation from the 70s, and you know, I was a kid, to say the least, but I remember my parents going through the gas shortage and prices going sky high, and I remember incredible interest rates. I remember walking into my father's office when the prime interest rate hit 18%, and he said, "Remember this day, son, because the prime interest rate is at 18%. Didn't know what it meant, but I remembered that day, and I will remember it forever. This place is great. There's a lot of fishing out here. A lot of people today. Nice day. One thing that's fascinating is, as the economic downturn, does anybody have a key so I can go out the dock? One thing that's fascinating about the health crisis and the economic downturn is that one thing that was exposed during this time was the problem with the automakers, with the chips. And Intel and Qualcomm were interviewed for Fortune magazine. It's a great, great article on how they're using basically antiquated technology to control these chips in the cars, and they need it changed. Now, I was naive on this, and I had no idea that the brake systems, the airbag systems, steering, the electronics, of course, the door locks, all these different things are ran with these chips that they cannot get. But the technology for these chips is a very old style. As the little ducks squawk and talk. This place is really nice. A lot to enjoy. But this is something that, again, internationally, there's only a few places that make these chips, which, again, I would think that these other chip manufacturers, the Intel and the Qualcomms, and all these other people would sit there and try to compete and try to make something that's going to be better than, faster than, and solve the problem. You know, it's maddening to think that these people cannot get cars. When the health crisis started, a lot of the shift with consumer purchases went to devices like wash machines, dryers, home goods, and things like that, which again, cars were put off because of the size of the expense. Now, they've got to deal with this because globally, without car sales, you're going to see a lot of businesses go down, and a lot of people are tied to these companies. It's absolutely fascinating to see how many companies are tied to these car manufacturers. So share your thoughts on this, guys. Will you be buying a new car anytime soon? Does that interest you? I just think the price of these new cars are outrageous. It is fascinating to me when you go by these dealerships that do not have inventory. And I think that there's more to it than just the chips, but share your thoughts. I really want you to let me know what you think. Now, there's a Wall Street Journal article that is kind of preposterous where it says inflation is everywhere. Duh, okay? If you've been alive for the last year, you have seen prices completely skyrocket on everyday goods, on gas, on fuel, on materials for your business, a little bit of everything. But this article covered 300 different sectors that have gone up over the last year, which has been staggering when you think about that. Again, I always ask this question, tell me what hasn't gone up, and people throw this hasn't gone up, that hasn't gone up. But everything in the restaurant business, we covered that in the last video, is from food to supplies to gloves, everything is absolutely shot up. And one thing that keeps getting mentioned now is stagflation, which is low economic growth, high inflation, and also high unemployment. The economy is not moving right now, guys, and that is a huge, huge problem. And it's going to bring back this term from the 70s. Listen to this chirping guy over here. So we walk over. So I don't know. I think it's a duck. It's not a duck, and I'm sure somebody's going to tell me what that bird is. But that makes this wonderful sound. But anyways, a lot of people fishing in the lake today. It's kind of nice. But again, guys, everything has gone up. And, the term transitory, how, temporary. I love how they throw out these terms like we're all supposed to be stupid. Nothing is temporary. We're seeing the shrinkflation with everything, everyday goods, from cheese to cereal to bacon to lunch meat to absolutely everything. Even now produce. You buy the package of tomatoes and they're less quantities of tomatoes inside that, and the price has gone up sky high. So, a lot of people that have been surveyed on this channel, we talk about eating out, and we talk about, going out to dinner. A lot of people are just saying, forget it. Not even gonna mess with it, damn. We're just eating inside and not, going to any restaurants right now. So is that you? And again, tell me what hasn't gone up, because everything has gone up. The only thing that hasn't gone up is gold and silver. One question I got quite a few times was, Dan, give us highlights of what's in the new infrastructure bill. So let me try to break it down for you as quickly as I can. First things first, paid family leave. If you have a baby, they want to make it mandatory that all employers give you 12 weeks off of paid leave. Okay, I don't know how they can do that, but there are some smaller employers that are going to have a real difficult time with that, but they want that. They also want health insurance expanded for Medicare so that dental and vision and things like that are covered as well. They also want to add mandatory retirement. So every employer is going to have to set up some type of retirement program for their employees, 401k or something like that, which again, smaller employers are going to have a much more difficult time with that. And they want to have high-speed transportation around the country, which here in Southern California, it's not going to work. It's just not something that, again, you drive inland You know, doing these videos, I'm driving 40,000 miles a year again, guys. It's crazy how much driving I'm doing, and there's no bus or train or anybody that could take me to that. So gotta deal with that. Now, as far as transportation, there's a lot of different amounts, 10 billion here, 15 billion there, 2 billion there. You're gonna see high-speed rail money, $10 billion, which again, I don't know who wants it. We don't want it here in California. It's been fought and they're trying to do that. You're seeing bills in this that want to connect lower income areas to other areas. You're starting to see maritime projects and money for that to help with the port congestion, which again, I don't know if that's going to help. And the last thing is technology. Now, again, you can read this article that's got everything in it, but the technology is high-speed internet. It is helping schools get internet, funding for things like that. And again, it's an absolute wish list, but please understand this. There is nothing for you in it, okay? And you can say, oh, I'm gonna benefit from these programs. No, there is no money for stimulus. Again, the fourth stimulus check, ridiculous part that somebody has extrapolated from this, and the dozens of emails that I've gotten for this, there is no fourth stimulus check in this. There is nothing to help you individually. It's a wish list for cities, counties, and municipalities and different governmental agencies. That's my opinion, but read it and you guys can come up with your own opinion on that as well. One thing we've talked about recently is the debt ceiling, and you're going to see problems with the Democrats and the Republicans in the next couple weeks until this debt ceiling date comes out. Now, here's one thing that's utterly fascinating, and that is this. The feds have the ability to print whatever currency that they want. Janet Yellen can go out and has talked about this, and this story's from Business Insider, so this isn't Dan making it up, and I'll share the link to the story below. Janet Yellen said that if she doesn't get a deal on the debt ceiling, she could print $1 trillion coin. Is that insane? A coin worth $1 trillion and then deposit it with the Fed. Guys, if you think our money is real right now, you guys are crazy, because the fact that you could just print money, and again, we've all have friends that are irresponsible with their money and that buy everything on credit and then, oh, don't worry about it, I'll pay for it later. That's what our government's doing right now with your money and your children and your future grandchildren's lives, because you're going to be taxed to Pluto and back to pay for stuff like this. So it's absolutely crazy, but this woman's talking about printing $1 trillion coin. And again, please share your thoughts on this, because I think it's lunacy. I think it's insane. It's complete shenanigans. It just goes along everything on this channel that we talk about with an ounce of fiscal responsibility. You have to pay your bills every month. You've got to pay your rent. You've got to pay your electric bill. You've got to be responsible to feed your children and to house, clothe, feed them. But these people are going to print $1 trillion coin and deposit it at the Fed. Please tell me what you think about this. One thing that we've talked a tremendous amount a lot lately is the bottleneck with the shipping off the coast of California. And it's not just this port, it's ports internationally that are having problems. But in Business Insider, there's a great article talking about how the Christmas shopping season and small businesses are going to be destroyed by this. You're going to see massive problems with this. You're going to see delays that are worse than ever before. The price of container shipping right now for a 20-foot container is almost at $21,000. It's $20,700 as of the making of this video. The average business that is waiting on materials is waiting 8 weeks right now for goods and services to get to the port. 8 weeks, guys, 8 weeks. Okay, how do you plan? How do you market for that? How do you plan for that? And again, normally this time of the year, early, okay? I do something crazy every year where I'm the guy that as soon as I see the first Christmas tree, in September, I do Merry Christmas and send it out on my social media feed, and all my friends and everybody from high school north reminds me of what a degenerate I am for doing that, and that it's way too early. But this year, there's none of that stuff out there, guys. You're not seeing it, and you're going to see problems with this, which means, again, the preparation line that we've talked about on so many videos of getting prepared, because you're going to see these products delayed more than we've ever seen them. So, you know, are you seeing it? Is it affecting your business? Remember the man I met at the beach when I went to the Wedge, Christian, who worked for the electronics company, and they just gave up on shipping by boat, and everything that they're doing now is through air, paying more money for it and telling their customers that they need to pay for this. So when does this happen, guys? When do people just give up and change the way that they do their shipping? I think it's going to be very soon. So share your thoughts. I really want to know what you guys think about this. Now, here's the thing. One thing that I hear a lot about is people that are unhappy with their jobs. Now, here's a great story out of SF Gate, which is in San Francisco. They did a great story on 25,000 employees that are suing Disneyland because they're unhappy about their wages. Now, living here in Orange County, California, we've heard a lot of stories about, you know, Disneyland employees that don't make enough money to rent an apartment. They work over full time and they can't feed themselves or take care of their kids. This is a real problem with the Disney community. They interviewed 5,000 of these people and surveyed them and talked about, do you have enough money to live and to meet your common needs? And they don't. So again, you know, you can say, go get another job, but you'd think that Disneyland would pay a decent wage for people. But there are a tremendous amount of stories that I've read where there are people that are maids at the hotels, people that do different jobs, that sleep in their cars, that have food insecurities, which means that they're going hungry, people that are unhoused, which means that they're homeless. And it's terrible. But again, how is it with your job? Do you make enough money doing whatever you do? Are you happy doing whatever you do? Maybe you work at Disneyland. I'd love to hear from you. Everybody would love to hear from you guys and tell us what you think about this, and if you think that there's a real problem there in making a livable wage. Please share your thoughts and let me know what you guys think about this. Now here's a couple of crypto stories. I get a lot of people that write me and say, Dan, if you just understood crypto, you'd be so much better. There is a veteran trader, Tone Vase, who has made a lot of money on Bitcoin. He is predicting that Bitcoin will go to $100,000. And the thing I admire about this guy, and no, I don't know him other than the article I just read, is that he is saying that this is going to go to $100,000. It's going to crack the 68,000 mark by November, and that it'll hit 100,000 by the end of December and into January and February. Okay? Share your thoughts if you believe that. And the next thing is, you know, a year or so ago, we had the Dogecoin hysteria with everybody that was involved in Dogecoin talking about it. Now there's a new one called Shiba Inu. And the people that are involved with Shiba Inu, it is a coin that is very, very cheap. If you put a few $100 in, you'd get millions and millions of coins. But again, are you into cryptos? Does this interest you? Okay? You know, I'm always fascinated. The thing I'm fascinated about is that this guy actually did a timeline on his prediction. That I'm gonna watch, and it'll be nice to see what happens with that. Please share your thoughts. I'm gonna end this video on this story right here. And Sam Adams, the beer company, every 2 years does a private label beer called Utopias. And the Utopias beer this year is something that is going to be considered to be illegal in 15 states because the alcohol content will be over 28%. 28%. The thing that floored me about this was they only make 13,000 bottles of this. It's very difficult to get, but it's $240 a 25-ounce bottle. $240 for a beer. So needless to say, guys, I don't know about you, but I won't be buying $240 beer. Has anybody ever had this before? But this batch has got an incredibly high alcohol content, which makes it difficult to sell in all those other states, and it will be gobbled up very soon. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you got the bell notification so that you can get all our videos. Plus also, please don't forget to join our email list. The Webull deal, where you get a free stock and you can trade Shiba Inu and Bitcoin to your heart's content. You can get a free account, get a free share of stock. If you put money in the account, it's gonna end soon. I think it ends this week. So sign up for that if that interests you. If you wanna join our Patreon channel, please sign up for Patreon. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. And thanks for watching.